Aisha Effendi knows all about the horrors of war. Her husband is Saleh Muslim. He heads the armed Syrian Kurdish group known as the YPG. Her son, also a fighter for the YPG, was killed by an ISIL sniper last year. Despite her loss, she dedicates her time to encourage Kurds to take up arms in what she calls a battle for freedom. At this refugee camp on the border with Kobani, Aisha meets with displaced Kurds. Some of them have also lost their loved ones. Aisha tells me that it is the duty of women to serve on the front line. She says the battle for Kobani is part of a wider struggle, not only against ISIL, but against the Syrian regime of Bashar al-Assad.
The Kurdish woman was oppressed from two sides, firstly by society and her family, and the other oppression by the Syrian regime, which took away all her rights. Despite this, it is the Kurdish woman who is now resisting ISIL, and because of this she has become a symbol of freedom and resistance around the world.
Syria's Kurds celebrate their female fighters. The YPG has posted several videos on the internet of its female unit, the YPJ, fighting in Kobani and other parts of Syria. And this isn't the first time Kurdish women have taken up arms. Their comrades in Turkey were part of the armed struggle there for the better part of 20 years. In Syria, though, they pose a special threat to ISIL fighters.
ISIL threatened to cut off our women's heads and told their fighters that if they were to get killed by a woman, they would not go to heaven. But the female YPJ units fighting in Kobani have demonstrated to the world how strong they are.
Aisha herself was imprisoned several times by the Syrian government. At 55 years old, she doesn't have it in her to take up arms, but that hasn't stopped her from asking others to do so. She tells me her own daughter is currently fighting on the front line in Kobani.
Our women fighters and the mothers of the martyrs have vowed that they will take off their headscarves and tie their feet together because they refuse to retreat. They've declared either victory or martyrdom.
ISIL is still holding on to large parts of Kobani and other Kurdish towns in Syria, but Aisha remains optimistic.
Syrian Kurds, the Peshmerga and our Arab brothers from the Free Syrian Army are fighting together in Kobani. We've been dreaming of this unity for years now in order to defend both the Syrian and the Kurdish people.
The refugee camps here are filled with children. Many of them have elder sisters or even mothers fighting in a war that has all but destroyed their country. The hope is there will be no more war to fight when they grow up. Jamal Al-Shayal, Al Jazeera from the Turkish-Syrian border.